Well, hey folks, today I'm going to talk about my experience at the Northeast Disc Expo up in Boston, just outside of Boston, and why you might want to think about coming out there next year. I'm also going to talk about the pixel and the watt. We're going to go around and throw these a little bit, but all that's going to be right after the intro. Okay, so last week I tested out the Pixel and I like it a lot, but I feel like it's gonna be a lot like my Watt that I like. And so I thought today I would just get back here on the back, whatever, on hole number 7 at Inverness, and I'm gonna play a few holes and test these out while I talk about the Expo and how it went. So anyway, we're gonna do a little combination of both. I'm gonna tell you some stories, a little inside scoop on a couple things, and we're just gonna go out and hopefully have a little fun. And I really do hope that you will think about maybe joining the Expo next year because it was great. So with all that said, let's go throw the first shot, because of course I just walked right out of my car and haven't even warmed up, but that's how we do it around here. So let's go play. Okay, so this is a great starting hole to try this out because you just want to throw it nice and straight right down the middle, missing the pine tree on the left, and we're gonna go for the blue basket. So I'm gonna start out with the Watt and then we'll follow up with the Pixel. Well, you could tell by my weight shift I was off and pulled over and yanked my weight over, but it still flew pretty straight. I don't know if you could tell, but it was just straight down the line. It never even moved off the straight, so that's pretty good. Okay, so basically I'm gonna go day by day. Let's see how this works out. So on Wednesday after work, Robbie came by and picked me up, and it was raining, and it was a pain in the butt driving to Atlanta. But we wanted to drive up there Wednesday night, stay at his parents' house. Side note, he had to tell his mom he was bringing somebody that might be a little older than his normal friends over there, and she asked how old, and basically I'm 2 years younger than his mom, so that wasn't a little creepy or anything like that. Sorry, Mom. We had a great time. Thank you so much for your hospitality. But so we had a great time just talking and driving to Atlanta, just getting to know each other more. We've spent time together, but we haven't spent a lot of extended time together besides playing disc golf. So that was good. And we got to Atlanta. I got to see his bedroom and all the good stuff. I took some pictures, and I thought I had some great blackmail pictures of Robbie, and turns out they were pictures of his brother, so I totally messed that up. But anyway, it's a good time there. Great to meet his mom. His dad was out of town, but we went to bed, got up early, and went to Atlanta to fly out because it's a lot easier to deal with Atlanta than Birmingham a lot of times. So we got to the airport. Everything went semi-smooth, nothing major. We got on the plane. We flew to Boston. Okay, so as soon as we got to Boston, we went and picked up the rental car, and we looked at the time, and it was about 2:30, and we said, we can make it. We immediately jumped in the car and drove as fast as we could, legally, to Maple Hill. Now, there's been a lot of snow. We see snow all the way there, but we're like, let's do it. We get there, and we realize, man, it's gonna be tight, but we can do it. So we go to the clubhouse, the office, and it's closed. We called Benny, who's running the expo, and said, hey, what's the deal? He said, just pay online. And so we did our green fees online, and he said, hey, I'm open to finish up what I'm doing here. How about I join you? So Benny shows up on the second hole, third hole, and we have a great time with him. I'd never met him before, but he is such a good guy. I really enjoyed getting to know him. Well, hey guys, listen, I'm up here in Maple Hill. Look at this with the snow. Robbie and I are up here for the Northeast Disc Golf Expo, and we just flew into town and we drove straight here trying to beat the light, but we're gonna play a little bit in the snow, Maple Hill. Pretty cool. Anyway, I'll see you later. But so we started playing Maple Hill in the snow. The good news is hole number 1, it was kind of iced over. So you had a little bit more leeway in case you hit the pond, you might get a skip shot off of it. Fortunately, neither one of us threw it in the water, basically because we kind of chicken armed it, threw it short of the water to the left for the most part. I got one across, but it still wasn't a great shot. But yeah, we played. The only problem was the weather wasn't bad, but everything was so snowy and mushy. It was swampy over there, so trying to get a footing was really tough. But we then had a great time with Benny, and we had Dustin joined us, dang. Okay, full disclosure, I have a terrible time recalling names. I know who you are and I can't bring the names out. It's something, I've hit my head too many times and that's actually true. But names for some reason give me a hard time. I know you, I know everybody that I've talked to, I just forget your names and I apologize. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna throw out names here. I'll probably just add names along the video just to try to back up. I've already bugged Robbie way too much talking about who's who, where their names are. But anyway, so let's keep going. Gotta find my disc. So anyway, Dustin comes and joined us. He's a fan of Robbie's and he joins up with us and we have a good time. Hole number 8 across the pond, it's frozen.
Is that under the ice?
There's my drive, bounced off.
I feel
Made the island, picked up, rolled.
The ice to get a disc.
It picked up, hit the wall, rolled, and just slid out to the pond. Anyway, we got Ben over there risking life and limb and hypothermia. Yes.
We're good though. Hey, you're doing great.
Oh, I'm just documenting. When the paramedics have to come, we'll show what was going on.
Well, fortunately, the water's like knee deep, so I really could just stand up and just hop on the ice.
Distance, but that pink one right there is.
Yeah, that one would be mine. I'd love for you to get that one. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but.
This is sketching me, but.
You don't want to mess with the ice consistency till you get past it. You don't want to.
In the center of ice, I should be better.
This is very cinematic, though. We can put some dramatic music.
I'm a trained professional.
He says as he drops the disc. Yeah.
Hey, great shot.
It'll fade in left if I miss, probably. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so we're having a good time. It's sloppy, it's messy, it's not the greatest conditions. We're just playing okay, we're having fun. But we get to hole number 14, and that is literally the last hole that we can really see the basket. 15, 16, 17, and 18 we played in the dark. As a matter of fact, Robbie just said, I'm done. But I'm trooping along. I'm going, yeah, let's keep going. And on 15, I made the tragic error of throwing my Vector. And if those of you who've watched my show, I love the Vector. It's my favorite disc. And I threw it in the snow, in the dark. And fortunately, Robbie came across it and saved my life because that would have been tragedy for this thing. So anyway, found that. Hole 16, I threw it and we just did echolocation. We pretty much just had to listen to see where it hit. Found it and I was like, okay, I'm done too. I'm just gonna take and throw. I had one strike that I was like, I don't care if I lose it or not. And that was the only disc I was throwing from that point on. And I said, I'm just gonna chuck it. And I threw it as hard as I could. Couldn't really tell where to go. And I thought I lost it. And we're walking by and I look and it is literally 10 feet from the basket. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna continue on. I ended up playing 17 and 18 and actually shooting pretty well on those two holes. So it was a great experience. Wonderful way to start out things, getting to know Benny, and we just had a good time out there. So that was really the first day. We came back soaked. Our clothes were just caked in mud and snow, and it was miserable. But it was a wonderful, great way to start the expo, even though the expo hasn't even started yet. So there you go. Boy, I talked way too long that time. Okay, wow. My disc got pretty far down here, even though I pulled it to the right. So let's see. Distance-wise, they should be about the same. Let's see where the old pixel landed. Oh, I actually got a little more distance, but I think it's because of the downhill. I think I gave a little more juice to the pixel. I was actually running that instead of trying to lay it up near the basket. But yeah, so far they feel pretty similar. All right, so we get up the next day and the first thing we do is we go set up Robbie's booth that he's gonna have there. He's got his gear, his stamp discs, foundation stuff, and we just get all that together. And everybody's kind of rolling in and starting to set stuff up, and we just kind of walk around and help people out. One of the first guys I met at breakfast was Jonathan from Disc AI, and good to meet him. But so yeah, we pretty much wandered around, helped set up booths and wandered around, take a look at stuff. And then we ran into David from Meadowbrook Orchards that has an amazing disc golf course, and he gave us 2 free passes to go play Meadowbrook. And so we said, yeah, we're pretty much set up, why don't we go do that? And so we grabbed Caleb from Pured disc golf app that is a great, it's kind of like we were talking about, it's basically the early version of LinkedIn for disc golf. Make sure you check it out. Caleb's a good guy. And so we just all jumped in the car and went to Meadowbrook. And we had a fabulous time. It was cold and misty, kind of rainy, but it was a wonderful course, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. As Robbie said, if you took the Pyramids, Maple Hill, and Meadowbrook Orchard and spread them out in 3 different cities, they'd all be the top course in their area. But there are 3 of them within just a few minutes of each other. It's pretty amazing. But if you get a chance, you got to go check out Meadowbrook Orchard. The restaurant, the bakery is phenomenal, and the crew there is just excellent. The course was excellent in how they treat you, how they set things up. Well done. And I just enjoyed getting to know David throughout the expo. He is a class act. Make sure you go support him. All right, start with the Watt. Gave it a little run there, a little run. Put that one a little higher so it'd fade a little more. Yeah, it wants to flip a little bit more. It's fighting that Anhyzer just a touch. Oh, so one of the things I did is I brought a stack of discs that I had drawn. I like to draw on my discs and create art on a lot of my discs. And when I heard that Robbie was going to start putting with wizards, I had a glow wizard that I had drawn a penguin on. And so I went and got it, and I touched it up a little bit, and I gave it to him on the trip to Atlanta and said, well, why don't you try this? Well, now if you start to watch Robbie's videos from last week on, you're going to see him putting with who he calls Topanga. And that's the penguin wizard that I gave him.
What is Topanga? Like, I get the...
Yeah, Topanga Lawrence.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So why is the penguin... That's just what you named it, because the penguin Topanga.
Yeah.
So you just named it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just tracking with you.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something like
Really,
crazy.
the hardest part is when I switched to Wizards, I was really excited about all the Harry Potter references I can make while I putt with them.
So many.
But then Topanga came up because Boy Meets World is my favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
And so then I want to make like a bunch of like while this is in the air, I want to be like.
So from now on, when you see the Topanga, you'll know, yeah, hooked a brother up. And he's putting really well with it, so I'm claiming credit for all that. How about this? I told you I feel like they're similar. You can't get much more similar in those drives. Huh. Can't really tell the difference. I will say this, the plastic does make a difference. The durability of the kind of the base plastic pixel, already getting some good nicks and gashes in it where the Watt just, you know, especially this black rim just takes a beating and keeps on cruising. So if you're going to, depending on what you're going to do with it, if you're using a putting putter, base plastic's probably fine, but I would go with something a little bit more durable if you're going to use it as a throwing putter. Okay, so it's Thursday night, we get back, and one of the things they have at the expo is Simon Lizotte designed a 9-hole mini golf course right out in the atrium. There's also a 9-hole disc golf course just outside of the hotel that you can go play. And Robbie and I kept meaning to go out there, but we were so busy we never got to play it. But so we get there, after playing, we go shower, get some food, and we grab a couple guys. We grab the guys from Galactic Disc, Adam, I'm sorry. He was doing the disc after dark. He was doing the glow rounds out at the 9-hole disc golf course over the weekend. But we grab him, we grab Benny, and we grab Eric, the community manager from MVP, and we go shoot a video with Robbie where we have a little doubles competition. We didn't win. But anyway, Robbie's like, yeah, here I'm doing this content creation, and 4 of the players on this thing are from Birmingham. he said, I probably need to shoot this again. And so he does the next night, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So this one, I want to test the turnover shot. Yep. Good throw, it's going to go straight, so it didn't fight out of the Anhyzer. They both feel very similar. Okay, so basically Friday was the get everything ready and hang out with people. We got to meet a lot of folks getting set up, Steve Dodge, people coming through. Yeah, it was just great to meet a lot of folks. And that's the thing, if nothing else, you should go just for all the people you can meet and network with and interact with. But so Saturday starts the first day. And I was amazed when we got set up at the booth that morning. I went out and look at this crowd of people. Somebody said they thought over 500 people standing in line. Amazing.
Good morning.
And what ended up happening is I ended up manning that booth with Robbie and for Robbie from it started at 10, from 10 to 3:30. I never got a break. People were just coming through, having great conversations. It was an amazing time. Got to talk to, I was in between Gatekeeper Media on the left and Staggered Stance with Nick and Matt and the gang to the right. And so when they were a little low, we'd be talking back and forth. It was just a great experience, a great time, a great atmosphere. But meanwhile, we've got hundreds of people coming through, and Robbie's just a superstar out there talking to everybody. People are so excited to just be in this atmosphere. I mean, there's thousands of people wandering around. Maybe that might be stretching a little bit, but I think they had over 3,000 plus for the event. But there are people everywhere, and it's all about disc golf, and people are excited about disc golf. It's wonderful. I kept telling people, 30 years ago when I started playing, we never could dream of something like this, because it was just a few of us that were begging people to come play with us, and everybody thought we were crazy. So to see this thing in real life was pretty darn amazing. But I will say this, I did have 2 surprises while I was there. Jason and Sam, Jason's the father and Sam's the son, and the only reason why I remember that is I had to go check that right before I did this. They come walking up and they go, "Pete, what are you doing here?" And they knew me, they watched my video. So hey, Jason, Sam, thank you so much. It was great meeting you. Sam, stop eating. Sam is like, he's 18 and he's just huge. But anyway, they came by and were just so nice, and it was so great to talk to them. That was a neat surprise because, let's face it, I'm in Robbie's booth and people are coming to see Robbie, and they came over specifically and talked to me. And then there was another lady, and I will call her Flick Momma because I never got her name. She's a little bit older lady, not too much older because we're all aging these days, but she came up and she kind of whispered over to me so she wouldn't interfere with Robbie, but also I don't know if she wanted Robbie to hear, but she's like, "I flick putt too, and I want to thank you for your video. Nobody talks about it." And she was the nicest, sweetest lady that was so happy that somebody else was a flick putter like her. Just made my day. It was wonderful. Oh, I pushed that one a little high. Whew. Thought I got it. So the expo on Saturday was 10 to 7. And about 4 o'clock it started to thin out a little bit and allowed me to wander around and go see some different booths and stuff. And I went and talked to and bought a Mojoh Riser. I'm excited. I'm going to do an unboxing and try it out and put it through its paces, but that's next week because I'm just playing catch up this week. But I was really excited to sit there and talk to Brian a little bit about what they're doing and just the process. Great guy, and I'm really pumped about trying this setup out. I also was able to talk to a guy at 603 Disc Dies. And as a matter of fact, if you've watched my video from Tuesday, he's the one that did my FireBerg for me, my FireBerg for me. So it really was like just going on a shopping spree. It was great. I wandered around. Now the whole thing is you got to decide: are you going to spend a whole lot of money, or are you going to be frugal? Because you could just spend so much money on disc, gear, apparel. And I was trying to be good, but I did manage to buy a few things. But just being able to get conversations with the guys at the booths. You walk around, talk to the MVP guys, talk to the Innova guys, the Discraft guys, Gateway. The conversations just almost never stopped. And it was wonderful because we all love disc golf. So Saturday was great. After it wrapped up, we went and we had dinner. And there's really only one place at the hotel where everybody eats, the bar, restaurant. And we sit down with a couple of guys from Gatekeeper and some other guys around there. And I sit down next to a guy named Don who looks just wiped out. Well, it turns out Don is the CEO of DFX Discs. I don't know if you've seen them, but you got to check out their website, check out their designs. They do a lot of, he gets artists to do a lot of the designs for MVP and Axiom. And we just had a great conversation. And that's half the fun. It's you just don't know who you're going to run into, who you're going to have conversations with. Definitely check out their stuff. And so then it was time for Mini Disc Golf Battle Royale #2. So Robbie grabbed Josh from another round, Josh and Avery. Avery, I'm pretty sure that's your name. And he grabbed Jeremy Coling, you might have heard of him, and Benny, and had a basically an ace run challenge with points. And you can already see it's already up on Robbie's channel, but I was the cameraman on that. I went from playing and competing the first day to cameraman on the second one, but it was hilarious. It was a great time. I can't stress enough how just chill and fun it was hanging out there all weekend. And so make sure you go check out Robbie's video of the Ace Run Challenge on the Simon Lizotte design course. And so, yeah, that was day one. If I only went up there for Saturday alone, the trip would have been worth it. But you got to realize I already had 2 days on the front end and I got one more day to go. So it's pretty good. All right, so I'm going to just go for the yellow basket here. It is literally just right there. This is a hole I normally throw this wad on for this basket. So this is a perfect test. Huh. Pulled that one to the right and it's just gonna stay straight. I gripped it. Oh! I hit the basket. I needed to be a little higher. Dang it. But yeah, point and shoot. So now we've got Sunday. And let's face it, you're excited about all this, but man, you don't get as much sleep as you want and you're doing a lot all day long. So Sunday, I kind of woke up and go, whoo, I'm old and tired. But we had another day. The thing is, we get to the booth expo area and snow starts. And it's that big fluffy, it's gonna dump some snow. And you know, we Birminghams freak out. I immediately want to run, go buy some bread and milk and hunker down because we're not gonna survive the snowfall. But I think the snowfall and it being a Sunday and the AFC championship football game was going on, it was a lot more mellow on Sunday. Not as many people there. But what that allowed me to do is to kind of wander around and have a little more free time to go check out some other stuff. I went and got my FireBerg from Jeff, I'm pretty sure it's Jeff Gilbert at 603 Disc. Love that. I've already got a couple guys here who have already ordered a couple FireBergs from them. So I think I made 2 cents off of that. See my video if you don't know what I'm talking about. And we just, I got to talk to Dirty Birds, and they've got a new chalk application thing that I'm gonna try out and let you know. I've got to stress test it and do all that. More about that coming up in the future. Just want to try it out. These are all things that I bought, so I can say whatever I want to because nobody's sponsoring me to do any of this stuff. And talking to the guys at Gateway, the guys at Lone Star, Clash Discs were there. Those guys were great. Their English was a little tough, but Happy with Par, he was standing next to them and he would help out a lot. As a matter of fact, he on Sunday, he couldn't find his belt. And so I lent him a belt. So I guess you could say I was supporting Happy with Par. Yeah, I know, I like it. So all that to say is just wandered around, got to shop, got to look at different stuff, and it was really great. So yep, my bad shot actually ended closer after my other shot hit the basket and rolled away a little bit. And so during Sunday, when it was in a little lull, that's when Eric came by and gave both Robbie and myself a pixel from MVP. And then one of the things that happened as we were traveling up to Atlanta is Robbie had to change his plans, that he literally was going to fly back Sunday night, get home late, and then wash his clothes and all, and the next day on Monday, turn around and drive up to join the foundation gang up there for a week of the all-star content creator stuff. So really no rest for him. The only problem is he had a lot of the foundation gear and they were going to be dropping his discs in the store while he was up there. So he was trying to figure out how to get all of his discs and merchandise with him to at least to get to his truck that he could drive it up there. So what we ended up having to do is take all my stuff, my clothes, my discs, everything, and pack them up in boxes that went back with Adam on his truck. And my suitcase, even my disc golf bag, everything was packed with his discs. I had like one change of clothes and everything else was foundation discs, Robbie's discs and everything in there. But we made it back, and then he took all that. It looked like a drug deal in the back of his truck at my house at 1:45 in the morning as we're unloading all my suitcases with all his gear. But so that's one reason why this is about a week late, because all my camera gear, everything except for one camera, was packed up in that box, and it took me a week to be able to hook up with Adam to get all my stuff. So anyway, it was just one of those things that it was never dull. It was always an adventure, and it was so worth it. I really want to encourage Benny and help him out any way I can. There's a great story that he's interviewed on Disc Golf World talking about the expo. You definitely need to go see it. This guy is phenomenal. Even once he shaved off his rockin' stash after the first day. But I've talked way too long. Just know, if you've got an opportunity, put it on your schedule. Plan to be there next year. I'm going to try to be there every year from now on if I can. And here's the story. This hole is called Big John. I did all the tee signs out here. I designed them. And so the good news is I got to name all the holes. Now, I didn't think about when I named hole number 8 with that tree that has the big knot, and I called that hole Big Butt, that some teenage guys were going to steal both of those signs because they want to have signs in their dorms or wherever that say Big Butt on them. So I wasn't thinking about that. But yeah, I was able to name all the holes. And I named this one Big John because the day the basket got moved from up top, when we used to only have one basket that we'd move around, moved from up top to down low, John and my buddy Chris Laney had been playing disc golf a couple months or whatever. We'd been playing Ultimate for years together, but they had been just getting into disc golf. And so we walked up to this hole, and Jeff Wedgen had just moved the basket down here, and he was like on the next hole. And Chris Laney had never seen it in this position, and he looked at it, and it was during the summer, so the leaves were a lot fuller. You could barely see the basket. And he says, "This is an unaceable hole." And I laughed. I said, okay. John steps up, and he was a baseball player, so he likes overhand throws, so he threw a thumber. He shanked it, hit the side of the hill, turned 90 degrees, rocketed straight into the basket for his very first ace of his life. 10 seconds after this hole being declared unaceable. So I had to name it Big John. Fast forward to yesterday. John's been playing for 2 years now, and we step up this hole, and I walk up and I throw a forehand with a pyro, hit an ace. And our other buddy Pelham says, "Well, we all got to ace it now." John steps up, and John had asked me a question. I'm on my phone looking for a picture for him, and I hear a thonk. No change, I don't hear anything. And Pelham goes, "Whoa, ace!" And if you know my friends, they're sarcastic like me, and I swore they were messing with me. I did not believe it until we got up to the basket, and I could see John's disc resting on top of my disc in the basket. It was back-to-back aces, and I should have known because Big John owns this hole, and he can't be outdone on this hole. So literally, he followed up my ace with an ace. So I just need to say, great job, John. Well done. It was a funky day. It was a great day. So anyway, way too long of a video, but there was just so much going on. And I wanted to give you kind of some insight, some things that are going on, give you a taste, and hopefully it'll make you excited about maybe showing up next year. Anyway, I really feel like Pixel or the Watt, either one of them, is going to be a great point and shoot disc for you if you like these kind of discs. Yeah, I'm going to throw one more, and then we're going to get out of here. Oh, ace! No, not even close. Not even close. Don't even think about it. Oh, just over the top of the basket. Okay, that, dang it. You know that you think of what could have been. I'm so tempted to CGI put that disc in the basket, but I'm not even that skilled, so it's not gonna happen, and I'm lazy. And I gotta get this done for tomorrow because this is taking way too long. Just tracking down all the pictures and the names. This video has taken a lot of man hours. So anyway, I hope you appreciate it. Please feel free to leave some comments, some suggestions, some likes, do all the usual stuff. And I really do appreciate you sticking with me. Anybody that lasted this long, thank you so much. And I hope to see you out on the course.